Hello everyone, and welcome back after far too long a break to the Season 2 finale of Star Trek Adventures Drake, an actual play using the rules by Modifius Entertainment. My name is ELH the Game Master, and joining me are some lovely individuals who we'll meet in a moment. In terms of announcements, unless we have tech issues tonight, oh god, I jinxed us, Murphy's Law, we're doomed. Alright, packing everybody, we're just going to have to stop the stream. Anyway, assuming tonight's stream goes well and we don't have any lingering issues, we are going to take next week off, but then the following week, which if my calendar is correct would be the 17th? Yeah, the 17th. We will be returning with the same players, but on a new ship and a new crew. And what I would tell you is if you're interested in seeing details about that, you either want to be in my Discord or you want to be watching on YouTube, because I'm going to be posting the intro video, another special by Techno Nerd. So already big thanks to Techno Nerd for working on that for us. But that's enough from me. I'm really excited to get playing, so let's get everyone to introduce themselves and we'll get started. So Peter, what you got?
Hey everybody, I'm Peter, or Petrus Aquinas, around the interwebs. You can find me on the Code 47 podcast or the Drunken Dice podcast over at Roll and Review, or on Starship Excelsior. But I play Captain Tholian, the culinarily challenged Xindi commanding officer of the Drake.
Can you find a way to just fit that into the in-character conversation tonight? Can you just find a way?
To say that I'm culinarily when we hail Showa Station, it might come up.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe we should name the shuttlecraft that.
Culinary challenge. You know what? That's it. It's its name now. There, it's been done. All right, Jeremy, what you got going on?
All right, I'm Jeremy, or you're a spy on the internet, and I play our ship's intrepid chief engineer, who is now not culinarily challenged, but culinarily frightened, thanks to our illustrious captain.
That's the other shuttle. One's culinarily challenged, the other one's culinarily frightened. I love it.
Well, no, I gave culinarily frightened to those colonists to get that taken care of.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, Jeff, what do you got going on?
I'm Jeff, also known as Sunbay, and I play your friendly neighborhood XO, Commander Tucker Cole.
And last but not least, Randy.
Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Randy, also known as Dr. Nemesis, and in this game I also play a doctor, Dr. Early Langerhausen, who's the Chief Medical Officer.
And with that, let's see that intro video to get us started. And welcome back. So, as is tradition on my Star Trek games, I have the players do an opening log, and today, I believe that is coming from a certain doctor. So, please take it away.
Stardate 073.9, Chief Medical Officer's log. The Drake has finally managed to return to somewhere the Federation actually has maps of. We're on our way to a Showa Station, which is apparently the closest star base where we can finally put in for repairs and resupply after our impromptu deep space odyssey. And we're going to need plenty of repairs. Not only did we get into a fight with Klingons, but we also had to disarm a bunch of unstable gizmos those Murdoch jokers had been building, lest they pull an Icarus and blast their whole dang planet too close to the sun. The good news is, after some back and forth, Captain Tholian managed to convince the Murdoch leaders that they should talk to the Federation diplomatic folks about joining up. But he told them it wouldn't happen until they turned over all their Klingon stuff and let us disable their experimental warp doodads. Thank heaven they saw the light and agreed. They'll probably be fine. The Drake, on the other hand, has been limping. Climate control's only working half the time. The gravity keeps glitching just enough to make you stumble into doors and cabinets. And worst of all, hang on, message from the bridge. Well, butter my buns and call me Dr. Biscuit. Sounds like the sensors can see Showa Station, but nobody's waving hello. And Lieutenant Zajan says there's a ton of warp traffic all over the place. And if that don't beat all, it seems like it's Klingon and Tholian warp traffic to boot. Let's see what's going on. End log.
All right, and you can have your one momentum for that lovely opening log. And one thing I will say at the top of the session is tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, I am publicly tracking threat, which if anybody remembers when I did that in Arcadia, either very good things or very bad things are going to be happening tonight. We're going to find out together. But what we're going to do is we're going to start you all on the bridge of the Drake, as we usually do. And on the view screen is Showa Station. But it's not the intact Showa Station that you have in your database. In fact, it looks like Showa Station has seen some better days. The docking ring, for example, part of it has actually been severed, and a chunk of it is floating just a little bit of ways from the docking ring itself. The upper saucer part of the section, the primary hull, does appear to be intact. The reactor core is scorched, but also intact. And you're also seeing that not only is there Showa Station debris, but there's debris of small craft, such as Federation shuttlecraft. There's also debris of what could be Klingon vessels and Tholian vessels. But the good news is that the lights of Showa Station are on, and they do appear to have shielding, but for some reason, and that reason being a complication from chat, they are unable to establish any kind of, well, subspace communication. You can't talk to them normally, kind of a thing.
Oh no. Does that look like is that what's going on over there?
There's definitely been an attack. Lieutenant Zajan, what sort of weapon signatures are we seeing?
Sir, I'm seeing disruptors which would match the Klingon signals, and I'm also seeing what could be some sort of a phased weapon that would match Tholian designs, but it's more advanced than what I've known.
Great.
Huh.
It does seem par for the course, though.
It does. We've been dealing with them for quite a while. We did manage to, not end on great terms with either of them, so...
Yeah, we're understaffed and undergeared down in sickbay. Let's hope that we don't have to treat no many of these major injuries, but if we do, it's going to be very touch and go.
Here's hoping. We don't know how Showa Station's doing on their sickbay either. Okay. Zajan, there's no way for the subspace radios to work?
I've tried every frequency I can think of, sir. I've even dipped into the Ferengi bands, and I'm getting nothing.
Is there any way to use old radio waves, old school radio waves that are not subspace? We are in visual range.
We are within visual, sir. It would just take there would be a lag on the communication. Now, out of character real quick, I get to ask the fun question. Did anybody learn Morse code in character? All right, there we go. All right, so I'm not going to actually make you go through the arduous, tapping, but AC, if you would like to send a Morse code message, we can certainly do a roll for it.
Sure.
Now the question is,
just
what is the message?
Turn the phasers really low and just deet, 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 deet.
Yeah, it'll be a flashlight at that range. It's fine. What would you like to say, sir?
Well, first we need to establish who we are. I mean, they can probably see us, but we need to establish that we are, in fact, still under Federation control, because we look pretty beat up too, so that they know that we're not, hijacked, and then offer assistance.
All right. I would imagine that there's probably a there's probably a code that indicates that would indicate to someone that indicates that we are still under friendly control, that we are not under duress.
Exactly. Yeah, there's definitely
And
something
a
like
call
that.
response or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's definitely a code that says we are here and prepared to render aid.
Yeah,
I just
definitely.
can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
I can't
Brevity
either. You're
codes.
fine. Yeah. So here's how we're going to handle this, because this is hopefully going to get you some momentum. This is probably going to be a control engineering on your part. The Drake will assist you with a communications, and let's call this a command. And the difficulty on this is a 0. So please get some momentum. You're going to need it.
Yes.
All right. Well, the Drake doesn't get you anything, unfortunately.
Let's see. Jury rigging is the only thing I really have that would be a good focus for this.
And I don't think that's going to work in this instance. All right, but you still get 2 successes.
There we
2
go.
Momentum. So you Morse code, blinking either your running lights or maybe even do a little bit of a light show with your phasers. And Showa Station actually replies in kind with its own Morse code beacon. And what you get back is a message that reads as follows. Attacked by Tholians, stop. Attacked by Klingons, stopped. Repelled initial wave, stop. Sending SOS, stop. SOS has not been returned, stop. Communications array disabled, stop. Please dock with station as soon as possible, end message.
I will render that out to the crew. I'll send that to various consoles. But as I'm, typing that out, sir, I think they've been trying to reach out, but their comms array is obviously down. They've been attacked by both Tholians and Klingons, and I don't think anybody else is coming.
No.
They've asked us to dock soonest.
Okay, Zygen, long range scan. See what we can find. What's your name? Kozlov, bring us in.
Do we have our subspace? Can we send out the message?
You could. Would you like to send out a beacon?
I reckon we go ahead and send a message out letting Starfleet know what's going on, because if Showa Station can't put it out, we can.
All right, let's do it. And because we're in this situation, press a button on my command chair. All hands, red alert.
And of course, the flashing red lights click on, the klaxon sounds through the corridors. But I now need to ask a very important question. Do you guys want to roll for the broadcast of the subspace communication, or do you want to spend 2 of your precious momentum to create the advantage that your message will be definitely received? There's obviously advantages to both here, but again, it's whether or not you want to spend that momentum in this instance.
Well, I know what my vote is, considering there's 10 threat.
Yeah.
What would the roll have to be?
The roll would have to beat a difficulty of 4, but if you succeeded, I would tell you that you would get reinforcements. It would just be a ticking time clock until that reinforcement arrived.
Can we wait until we see what long-range sensors say
I'll
before
give
we
it
make
to
that
you
decision?
in character now so you can make the decision. As Zygen comes back and says, well, sirs, I don't really have good news. There's a Tholian battle group that's within warp distance. There's also a Klingon battle group that is suspiciously close to the Tholians. I didn't, I was kind of hoping this, was just paranoia or happenstance, but I think they're working together.
Brilliant.
But why would the Tholians work with the Klingons? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, because they hate us.
Yeah, but
We've
is their
had
hatred
run-ins
of
with
us
both.
really worth...
Who understands Tholians anyway?
Fair point, sir.
I do not, that's for sure. Okay. What do you think, guys?
Spend the momentum for the advantage is my recommendation.
Yeah, sir. I think we can. I think we can probably, with the XO's help, rig up an array of probes that could get our message out, and based on their positions on the charts, they couldn't get them all.
Okay, so
It would take some
approach.
Yep. That'll pretty much run us out of probes, but it will get the message out.
I can't think of a better way for us to use the rest of our probes.
Can't stop the signal.
Setting it up, sir.
And for that Firefly reference, I'll even let you only spend the 1 momentum. So that'll bring you down to 2 momentum, and your message is going to go out. You can confirm that unless somebody blows up every single one of your probes, as you just said, you can't stop the signal. Somebody is going to hear you, and somebody is going to come running.
I hate how you said somebody.
Yeah, somebody.
It's the Borg.
The challenging part is that it's obviously going to take some time, even with, full broadcasting. Subspace still needs time to travel message-wise, so you're not going to get an immediate response, but again, I can confirm that you will eventually get a response. Now, that said, is there anything anybody wants to do or roll for or anything like that before you dock with the station?
Do we know if there's any other ships in range? I mean, we was coming here to get repaired. We're certainly in no condition to fight off 2 fleets.
We've been gone so long, we don't have any update on any fleet movements.
And we may not have a choice, Doc.
All right. Well, gentlemen.
Sir, all right. How many of our repair teams do you want to hold back aboard the ship? To Doc Early's point, we're not necessarily fully prepared for a fleet engagement.
No. We're gonna need a good number of our repair crews, but let's dock with the station, see what situation they're in. If we can get their weapons back up and running, that'll at least give us a little bit of an edge. Starbase weaponry tends to be a little bit more powerful than starships.
Understood, sir. Lieutenant Kozlov, are you detecting any non-Federation species life signs aboard Showa Station?
I am, sir, but I cannot confirm whether or not they are supposed to be there, but I'm seeing that there are 2 Klingon life signs, so perhaps not the boarding parties we were worrying about.
Commander Cole, we should probably take an armed party over to the station just in case.
Can do.
Let me look at that. Kozlov, can I see your con for just a second? I want to see if their life signs are stable. Maybe they're casualties or even prisoners.
There you are, sir. And if you want to give me a insight and a medicine difficulty of 1. Again, hopefully getting you guys some precious momentum.
Uno momento.
Well, the life signs are flickering. They're not in any danger of expiring, but they are flickering.
Something's unstable about the life signs, but they're not at death's door or nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if that's a landing party, it sure is lean for having so many ships.
Okay. All right. Let's dock, figure out what situation is on the station herself, and we'll go from there.
Sir, request permission to hand sickbay over to Ensign Ricky so I can be a part of the landing party. I want to see. I'm sure they got more injuries there than we got here.
Permission granted, Doctor.
Real
Cole,
quick, I have to drop off for just a moment. You guys keep going in character. I can hear you. I just got to deal with a dog that has escaped its bounds. So I got to go wrangle a dog. Be right back. Right back.
Computer, note in the log. Chief Medical Officer responsibilities handed over to Ensign Ricky.
Commander Cole,
sir.
I would like you to handle the landing party. Unless you believe that your combat expertise would be better suited here on the bridge. This is definitely your wheelhouse, not mine.
Right now, we don't have any hostiles ships that are operational.
All right. Okay, then I will stay here on the bridge, monitoring the sensors with Zygen.
And I'll keep in contact with you so you can pull me back if if we do start needing to go ship to ship.
Do you think if we get over to the station and nothing's exploding, AC, do you think that maybe the first thing we ought to fix is whatever communications it takes to get in touch with the Tholians and the Klingons and see what they're trying to get? I mean, if they're after something like the Tholians was about that crate, you remember, way back when we first got the cat, maybe we could talk them out of shooting us out of the sky.
There's that's not a bad idea, Doc. There's something I want to check first. I want to check and see if the communications array was purposely targeted.
Yeah.
Because if they wanted to talk, they wouldn't purposely disable the communications array.
True.
And I can probably tell based on the damage profile whether it was targeted or whether it just happened.
Yeah. Incidental weapons fire or purposeful.
Right.
All right.
If there's a direct hit on there, I mean, with limited damage around it, they try.
I am too excited about going into a combat zone against two different groups that have just about blown our ship up before.
I'm also not too pleased, Doc.
I just feel like the Drake could do better, you know. I mean, she's just not in good shape right now. Not up for a fair fight.
Not up for a fair fight.
Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we don't have to have a fair fight. If it's got to have a fight, hopefully we can make it unfair.
See if we can tip the odds in our favor. Commander AC, I know that your teams have been working while we've been traveling, but I do know that some of our phase cannons have been locked in certain positions. So we probably should have the crews check on those. I believe our photon torpedo launchers are still working properly.
Those are good. The phase cannon just can't shoot to the stern.
Okay.
And it's really the only damage we have that's been carried over.
All right.
And there could have been a lot worse.
All right. Okay, so then we should probably keep checking on that, see what Showa Station's up to.
All right, let's get to it. Trying to think of everything that would be rational to bring with us. I guess basically just our normal away team crap, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry about that. One of the dangers of having a Alaskan Malamute puppy is they're smart things and they learn how to get out of cages real quickly. All right, where were we? Oh, right, we were docking with the station. That's what we were doing.
Yes,
All
indeed.
Yep.
So, when you pull into the station, you do so at the part of the docking ring that's nearest to the chunk that's floating away, but it's still intact, at least when you docked. And when you... How do I say this? When you go through the gantry and you open up into Showa Station, it's about the mess you're expecting. They're at red alert. There's debris throughout the corridors. There's signs of disruptor fire within the station. There are some fallen... I don't want to say corpses, but there's definitely a lot of injured people just kind of leaning up against the walls. But there's definitely discarded bat lifts. There's tagged daggers. There's also what appears to have been a Tholian suit, like a life support suit of some kind that has been there as well. But waiting for you on the other side of the gantry is a Tellarite, and he is wearing a JAG officer's uniform that has been ripped artfully in the Kirk style. And
just to be clear, that's a lawyer's uniform, right? Like
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tellarite lawyer, probably real charming.
Yeah. But commander, at least as far as his pips indicate, the commander just kind of looks at the five of you. Was it just the four of you going, or?
Four.
It's the four of them. I'm staying on the ship.
That's what it was. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
All
so
right.
who's our fourth?
Oh.
It's early AC, Cole, and
probably another security person.
Yeah.
Right. I
lead.
was thinking security. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. So the commander kind of looks you up and down and says, welcome to Showa Station. I wish it were under greater circumstances. My name is Commander Weekash, and I'm currently the ranking officer. The senior staff has traveled to deal with a very problematic situation with the Kozo and the Nebula. They are unfortunately away, and we have not been able to reach them.
Who's in charge of checking after the wounded, sir?
That would be, our doctor got taken out in the first wave. Right now, you'd have to go to the clinic, and that's run by Dars. He's a Denobulan, you can't miss him.
I start scanning the people who are nearby, just to make sure none of them are about to, bleed out or something.
Do you have any hostiles still on the station?
As far as we've been able to tell, we've either neutralized or gotten them, unalived, is the nice way of putting it.
Because we had scans showing at least 2 Klingons.
And Weekast's face does get a little bit hardened at that, even for a Tellarite. He's definitely not thrilled. Well, those 2, that would be the Klingon ambassador and the Klingon secretary to the ambassador. They, long story short, they attempted to take over the bridge using a disruptor attack and a program that was supposed to be a diplomatic program. But obviously it lowered our shields and allowed that first wave through.
Klingons using subterfuge?
I know, it's, I think this might be the one instance where I've ever heard about Klingon intelligence actually doing something, which is either very good or very bad.
Takes all sorts.
But what's the status of your vessel? We were only able to get so much of a scan of it. Are you combat capable?
In degrees. ACLE, fill them in.
That's a relative term, sir. We're not in top shape.
Well, do you have a working phaser?
We have a bit more than that, sir.
Well, I'll take it. At this point, I would take, an ensign and a EV shoot with a Type 3. That's how desperate we are right now.
In the meantime, what's the status of your engineering spaces?
Well, our main communications array is completely destroyed. Our engineering spaces have taken a few hits, but the shielding and armor there has kept it from breaching. Really right now, our engineering concern is lack of power. We've had to boost some of the auxiliary arrays and he kind of takes out a pad and shows you. And this is where, for those of you who are looking at game mechanics, now you can see the state of Showa Station shields and power. And those at home who can't see Foundry, Showa Station's currently at 9 out of 14 shields and has 5 out of 9 power remaining to it.
Not in good shape.
Mr. Cole, I'd like to borrow your helper.
By all means.
You there. Help me carry this fellow over to the clinic. Everybody else, y'all are fine. Just don't move around too much.
Sir, I think we might need to go to engineering.
Yeah, let's go.
Don't let me get in your way. I'll send your fellow with you or your way in just a minute.
So actually, let's deal with the clinic first, because I think that's a very important scene to do up front, but we'll get to engineering in a moment. So, based on Commander Weekast's directions, you are led to a clinic on the promenade. And it literally just says clinic above the door. It is nothing special. It just says clinic. But the moment you step inside, you are greeted with what I would best describe as like a cyberpunk-style Ripper dock, where this was a space meant for like quote-unquote gray market or not official Starfleet procedures. And every single bed, every single flat surface has either somebody injured or somebody in need of being operated on. And throughout it all, you hear Denobulan cursing coming from the main operating table, where a Denobulan is in, well, it was white at one point, a white sort of jumpsuit. It's now just all sorts of reds and greens and purples. You probably can guess why. But he is currently operating on what looks to be a, operating on a Vulcan.
Hey, who's in charge here?
That's me. You look like... He kind of glances at you. All right, you obviously are a doctor. What do you know about Vulcans? I know that they have the whole Ponfar thing, but other than that, I don't know what I'm looking at here.
Plan B, I'm in charge here. You move on to whoever's next worst. I'll take care of this.
He gracefully gets out of the
side. Set my trauma kit down. I'm Dr. Early, USS Drake.
I'm Dars, clinic, Showa Station.
All right, Dars, let's do this. Come on. I try to, pep talk him as I'm opening up my trauma kit, and I attempt to save this poor Vulcan, who apparently the only thing that they know is Ponfar. So.
All right, so initial scan, and then we're going to enter into a bit of a challenging scenario. Insight medicine, difficulty of 1. And I think you've got a focus for this, I think.
Emergency medicine.
Yeah, definitely emergency medicine. All right, well, that's 3 successes, so you actually get 2 more momentum. Again, very important to have momentum, so you're up to 4.
We're needing it, yeah.
So here's the... Do you want good news or bad news first?
Good news.
Good news. You could save this person.
Bad news?
The bad news is that if you were to save this person, it is going to take almost all of your operational time, meaning you have to focus 100% on this person. You can't get him to 50 or 60 and then go to somebody else. So it's one of those, do you save the one or do you save the many situations?
I thought you were going to say bad news, it's Cybok. So that's...
Do you want it to be? I could spend threat. I mean, that is an option.
I'm definitely not going to save him. Okay. Ballpark, how many people are in this clinic? How many injured patients?
Upwards of 30 to 40.
Is this guy wearing a I am the head of Vulcan type outfit, or?
He is in fact wearing the Vulcan ambassador's uniform.
Son of a motherless goat. All my time.
But I will offer you an out if you will accept a complication.
Would love to. Yeah.
It occurs to you that you have one other capable doctor under your command. You put him in charge of sickbay before you left, but if you brought him over...
Oh, I hope all of you people are stocked up on good karma. Drake, this is Early.
Drake here.
Request emergency transport of Nurse Ricky to my location. ASAP. Trauma kit.
Acknowledged, Doctor. There's definitely a pause before Ricky materializes.
And Ricky materializes holding a trauma kit and goes, okay, what do you need? Oh God, there are so many. Okay, triage lessons. Okay, do you want me to help you? Do you want me to help these people? What's the play here?
You there, Chop Shop. What's your name again?
And he's elbow deep in someone at this point. It's Dars, D-A-R-S. It's like stars, but with a D.
Dars, it's you, then Ricky, then me, then God. All right?
Why is God? You know what? I'm not going to argue. You know what? We got to save these
Ricky.
people.
Ricky, tell him what to do. You do everything you can for whoever's most injured next. I'm going to be doing this for the foreseeable future. Got it?
And they all shout their...
I take a moment and I put my hand on Ricky's shoulder. I give him the shoulder touch and I say, son, make us proud.
Oh God, I'm going to fuck up everything now.
No. You are the Drake. Show these people how it's done now.
I've crashed the Drake several times.
That's why you're a doctor now.
Ricky, you see that green stuff spurting? This conversation.
Yeah, that's type O Vulcan blood. Yeah, we should probably get a clamp on that.
I'm busy. You get.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to try to save this very important Vulcan.
Before we
turn out to be Cybok.
Before we get too far, this is an activation of Ricky, isn't it?
It is technically a operation or activation of Ricky. Yep.
Can we? That means we can improve him in some way.
You certainly can. Let me take a quick look at his sheet. Let me see. Where is he? There he is. You could give him a talent. You could give him another focus. You could up one of his disciplines, up one of his attributes, or if you really wanted to, you could give him another value.
He's been studying real hard. Do we want to make him better at the medicine?
Does he already have a medicine focus, like emergency medicine?
He
Or-
does have
have-
emergency
yeah.
medicine.
That's probably going to do it for now. Is there a talent that would be very helpful here? Maybe
Yeah, I'm actually pulling it up my list now.
cautious
Yeah.
medicine?
Yeah, you guys know more
There's
about
like
the medicine.
healer talents, but I don't have any of them myself. So.
All right,
That would
let's
actually
see.
make sense for him to have like the one that makes him super effective at that.
Yeah, there's injury treating specific talents, but my character is more of a psychiatrist who has emergency medical training. So
Well, if we want him to be good at triage, you could literally give him the triage talent. That is an option here.
I mean, that sounds pretty good.
What does it do?
Basically, it means that if we need to start rolling for him, narratively, it means that he's very good at triage. Mechanically, it means that he is basically able to diagnose and treat at a much faster rate. Basically, it's 1 momentum per additional patient at a time, kind of a thing.
sounds
So that's
great.
triage. That's one option.
I mean, there's 30 people
Um,
here.
Yeah, there's 30 to 40 people here, so it would get him through quicker, is what I would tell you. He has he has a medicine of 3, so he could technically do stimulant shot, which would basically allow him to get. Well, actually, you know what? Now that I say, I think stimulant shot's probably what you want to go for, because remember, he's invented.
Yeah, that would fit
stimulants and-
narratively.
Yeah, because mechanically what it does is it lets the person get back into the fight, quote unquote, right away, and they recover stress equal to twice his medicine. So they basically would get 6 stress back.
But we could play it narratively, like, hey, I invented this other new drug.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. Or we could give him, I'm a doctor, not a pilot, and maybe he could use his medicine to fly the ship.
I think he has to have a con of 1, unfortunately, but I like where your head's at.
Yeah, he's got a con of 4. He's actually better at that than medicine at the moment. But I like the stimulant shot for narrative reasons.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
He has been in the simulators when he's on his downtime. So
Okay, all right. Then
Let's
yeah,
do
let's
that.
give him stimulant shot, and I'll handle that on my end, so you guys don't have to type it in. But yeah, for narrative purposes, Ricky pulls out an experimental hypro, looks at it, looks at Doc Early, looks at Dars, and says, "You know what? I'm in the hierarchy. I'm sure the Doc will trust me with this." And he starts going to town, stimulating everybody, which sounds versed. Why did I say it that way? We're going to move on.
field test.
Let's go to Cole and AC in engineering. So, Cole and AC, when you step into main engineering, you of course see the circular, almost like donut-shaped station reactor that is easily twice the size of the Drake's reactor, I should say. And it's more or less in a better state than what the rest of the stations looked like so far, but there's still signs that there was firefighting in here, that at some point somebody tried to use a disruptor on the main containment of the reactor. So when you arrive, you're actually greeted by, let me see, what is her name? You're greeted by an Orion engineer that is wearing Chief Petty Officer colors and pips, and she kind of runs up to you and goes, "Okay, no offense, sir. You look like an engineer. You know what you know. I can't even talk. I look at this place. We've got it kind of running, but I'm hoping you can get it running better."
That's the plan, Chief.
Okay, Commander. Obviously, if you can help, great.
He's going to keep us from getting killed in case something happens.
It's a good idea because the Klingons' first wave knocked out about half the staff. That, I don't want to get into the whole hierarchy of things, but right now I'm in charge. And if I'm in charge, that means a lot of people have gone down.
Yep, I think I'm in charge now, Chief.
Understood, sir.
AC Chatham, Chief Engineer, USS Drake.
Chief
I
Petty
grew up
Officer
on a-
Gina.
Hi, Gina. I grew up on a station like this.
Oh,
Let's get this party started.
were you ever attacked by Klingons and Tholians at the same time?
Long story, Chief.
Okay. All right. What do we want to work on first, sir? Power, shields, breaches. What are we working on?
While this conversation's been going on, AC will have not even looked at her. He's talking at her, but he's walking over to the consoles to take a look at where we are. So
this is where I give you the narrative
Mhm.
information, which you already see on the sheet, but mostly for the people watching and listening. So communications is at 6 breaches, which since Showa Station is scale 6, unfortunately that means communications has been destroyed, which, kind of explains why they couldn't talk to you normally. Its structure is currently considered to be disabled because it's at 3 out of 6, and its weapons are at 2 out of 6. So they're just damaged. They're not really broken, but they're not really disabled. But you probably are going to want to work on at least some of these breaches.
So what about shields and power systems?
So shields are something that you can do and just sort of rerouting power around or recovering power. There's tasks we can do for that, but what I'm going to tell you is that in your narrative bubble, you have, let me say, 3 actions you can perform, or 3 task attempts is what I will tell you.
All right. Well, first off, your station is falling apart. So let's start there.
Okay. Do we want to delegate to whatever engineers are still standing? Do we want to go ourselves?
I would.
What were you doing?
What were you
doing? Yeah. What were you doing 30 seconds before I walked in the door?
I was trying to get weapons back online fully, sir.
Do we have reason to expect further combat?
We
just arrived in system, so we're still gathering information.
I would say yes, sir, but I guess technically the weapons are mostly online. I guess it's really structure. I mean, I'm sure you saw the part of the docking ring that was just sort of not part of the docking ring anymore.
XO, come over here, please. I'm going to attempt to reconfigure one of the consoles here so that in case the station has to engage in combat, since the XO is just sitting here, he might be able to do some limited stuff.
You're reading my mind.
Gina kind of raises her hand and says, actually, sir, there's one very important item on the station that I probably shouldn't tell you about, but I think it's very prudent.
Okay.
So, long story short, I may or may not have been involved in creation of an illicit 1 to 200 scale or 400 scale, I forget which, but a scale model of the station, and you can look in its windows and see a live feed of everything that you can see through that window.
Okay.
Where is this?
It's currently in the Commodore's office, Deck 1.
Okay, so it's secured.
Yes. I've already been chewed out over it. I know it was a very bad idea, but at the time, I guess that's not really important.
Did you? Well, it seems like you created a number of things. What else can it do? Can it, for example, auto-destruct?
No, it doesn't interface at all with the only thing it interfaces with is security feeds. It doesn't interface with any of the control functions of the station.
No, I meant it. Can we blow it up from here so we don't have to send anybody up there?
Oh. Yeah, I guess you could overload it, but that would probably take out the Commodore's office while she's gone. I don't know how she's going to feel about that.
Better than if she was there.
So you're the
Like
security.
my office.
You're the security expert here.
If it's in her office, it's secured for now. One thing was thinking, do you have any crewmen on the Drake that we could bring over to help you out in here until we need them back on the ship?
I do, sir. I'm loath to do it. I've already got 2 damage control teams here, but
okay,
I can bring more personnel.
If you got 2, you're good, because they can handle some of the tasks. I think is what I was worried about. But is there anybody else up in the Commodore's office up on the bridge?
Well, the bridge got hit pretty hard, sir, in the first wave. I think most of it is open to the void right now, which I guess adds extra security, kinda, to the Commodore's office.
Unless somebody comes in EVA.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about.
XO, do you want a console down here? Do you want a console down here or not?
Yeah, I don't want to take any additional time from what you got to be doing down here.
It won't be a great interface, but I can probably give you something.
Could the Drake transport the station model down to you?
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
usable?
that's what I was going to ask, is if you've kept Thalen in the loop or you bring him into the loop, you could beam the model down to you.
Yeah. Sir, you're not going to believe it, but a scale model of the station with live security feeds.
That's an impressive piece of technology.
That's one word for it. But it's in the Commodore's office. Is there a way if you can get a lock on that and beam that down to engineering?
Zygen, can we lock onto that?
Trying, sir, and this is where the chat complication comes in.
Ah.
Sir, I'm not detecting the model in the office. In fact, I'm not detecting anything model-like floating out in space, or at least there's so much debris out here, I can't separate a model from a Klingon targ.
All right.
Great.
So, back to blowing it up.
No, we don't know where it is. Well, do you have access?
If you have remote access to it, you could have it sent a distress signal.
It doesn't do the whole transmitting, unfortunately, sir. It just displays.
Darn. Could you have
I guess I probably
power core temporarily spike?
I suppose I really should have built in more control functionality. It was supposed to just be a cool, like, gift to give to the Commodore, and yeah.
Well,
all right. I'll head on up to the
keep
bridge.
an eyeball out for it, XO. But
I'm going to head on up to the bridge, see if in the Commodore's office, see if I can find that.
All right, sir. I'm going to bring up a schematic I'm going to look at the schematic of the station and dispatch my 2 engineering teams to begin working on structure.
All right, so let's do your role. We'll go back to early, then we're going to go back to the Drake, and then we'll just sort of round robin from there. So, since you are in dealing with a damage control team, I want you to give me a presence engineering, and I want you to tell me what system you want to work on first here.
Structure. The station is falling apart.
Okay. So, that is going to be a difficulty of 3 presence and engineering.
Does that include the fact that the station is both rugged and sturdy?
Well, if we include the rugged design, that brings it down to a 2.
My team is equipped with tools.
I think it's still a 2, technically.
Okay.
valiant effort.
All right. I think your starship and station design are...
Oh, yeah.
I will probably spend 1 momentum if that's okay, everyone.
Fishing for crits. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it? Well, presence is low for me.
You just gotta believe. Just believe. I'm sure everything will be fine.
Crit fishing isn't a bad idea yet, so we still need them.
Okay. Well, there's 2 successes you need. No extra momentum, but you do succeed.
But hey.
So what that's going to mean then is that the structure is restored to function, and the life support systems and the shielding and the internal containment fields, all that works, but you don't actually get rid of the breaches themselves. You basically get it working again. So that's your action. Let's go to Early for a moment. So Early, again, you are more or less doing the equivalent of brain surgery with open heart surgery with, like, broken femur. So there's, like, a whole slew of problems with this guy. Like, this guy would die if you were not immediately operating on him, kind of a thing.
I'm holding his soul down right now, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So of those 3, the broken femur, the problem with his heart, the problem with his brain, which of those 3 areas would you like to focus on first? Heart, okay. So, for you, that is going to be a daring and a medicine. And I actually have to look at your focuses here to see if you have an appropriate one, because I don't want to just rely on emergency medicine if I can help it. But let's see what you've got. No, you just have emergency medicine, it seems. What I would tell you, though, you do have walking encyclopedia if you really wanted to, but you also have cautious medicine, which might help you as well.
¿Por qué no los dos? Hang on a second. Let's see. I was actually just studying an article on advanced surgical techniques in patients that were dying, and I feel like I have a rudimentary understanding of heroic surgery.
Now, the caveat to that is you would have to spend 2 of your precious momentum to get it.
2? I totally do that. Because I feel like heroic surgery might end up being something that gets used a lot today, considering how things are going.
All right, so
Heroic
you'll have the
surgery.
focus of surgery savant, or however you want to flavor it, or heroic surgery. I love it.
Okay.
So again, that's going to be a daring and a medicine difficulty of 4, and
I
you
will
would have a
spend our
focus
last
here.
momentum. Hopefully, I'll get some crits out of this. So let's see. Goes up by 1, and I spent a momentum for an additional die, so I will roll 3 dice.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you have 3 out of 4, so you could re-roll one of those die to try and crit fish.
I absolutely do want to do that, despite the fact that I have an increased range.
Okay, so what that's going to mean is that you either have to spend your determination or you're not going to be able to make progress on this hard problem.
I definitely want to spend determination. I mean, I've decided that saving this guy is my main thing I'm doing.
Now, what value are you going to tap here? Because there's definitely different angles you can take here.
I would like to challenge a value, if that makes sense.
Sure, which value?
Applicable? Humans are God's chosen species.
That's actually what I was looking at. All right, sure.
Perhaps a non-human can help humans better understand the rest of the universe, and perhaps saving this guy will advance God's chosen species.
There you go.
Or maybe just, God wouldn't have sent me here if he didn't want someone to kick some ass.
Just a little bit of casual speciesism, but that's okay. It's Star Trek. You'll get over it.
Nobody perfect.
Right. But yeah,
so
you can re-roll as many dice as you wish. It doesn't have to be just 1 or 2. It could be the whole pool if you wanted.
I will re-roll 1.
Okay, re-rolling the 1.
No, please don't go horribly wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
So, it's still 3 out of 4 successes, but now I can offer you a succeed at a cost.
Oh, wouldn't that make it 4 successes? A 5, a 7, and a 6?
Well, no. So you would be re-rolling. So the first... Let's see. So 5 is already the 2 successes. The 7 is 1 success. The 14 is not a success. You re-rolled the 14 to be a 17. Oh, I see what you did now. Yes, you would have 4. Correct. Thank you.
Yes. All right.
So in that instance, what that's going to mean is you more or less cauterize and suture and whatever the medical terms is, where you put veins back together.
I give him the Vulcan heart pinch.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. The Vulcan heart pinch. I have to remember that. But you get the heart not only beating properly, it's no longer having, I think the term is arrhythmia, but it is now working and it is pumping as it should. You can move on to other matters.
Okay,
and then
great.
as a fun little bit of complication, a bit of green Vulcan blood sprays across your face because it's funny. Meanwhile,
salty.
On the Drake, Zygen speaks up and says, sir, I've been keeping an eye on the Klingons and the Tholians. They're charging... Well, it looks like they're going to warp to the station, which means we've got about 20 to 30 minutes before they arrive if they come at max, sir.
All right. Koslov.
Sir?
Disconnect the umbilical.
Aye, sir.
Bring us about.
And narratively, we see the Drake disconnect from the station and kind of do a sweep around, and I'm guessing you want to put the Drake between Showa Station and... Okay.
Yep.
All right. So that's what's going on there. Let's go back to engineering. So engineering, you've dealt with the presence, or you've dealt with the structure problem, at least temporarily. What do you want to focus on next? You're muted, as is tradition, so maybe we need to work on the communications again.
Probably weapons.
All right, well, the good news is that it is just a presence engineering difficulty of 2 on this one.
Yep, I'm going to direct them to do that.
Oh, there you go. You get 2 momentum for your troubles. Very nice.
All right. And then as soon as they are directed to do that, I'm going to tell them to listen to Chief Gina And I'm going to, because I'm assuming in engineering, I would know all of the status of the station, including that my ship just disconnected.
Yep.
I think I probably need to be there. So I will probably actually, hopefully they're still in handheld communications range.
Yep.
Shout out to Drake.
Drake.
Get me the hell over there, sir.
All right.
We've done as much. I'm leaving 2 teams here. They're working on weapons. The station's no longer falling apart. I've done all I can do here.
Sounds good, Commander. Zygen, lower the shields temporarily. Beam him aboard.
You got room for 2? Do you need me on there as well, sir, or you want me to stay here?
What do you think, Commander?
I sure would appreciate having some of our security folks here if we get boarded. But I'm sort of selfish like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Commander, I leave it up to you. You can beam a few security folks over to the station.
Chief, do you have who's running ship's weapons?
I guess technically that would fall under Commander Weakass's purview. I mean, a lot of us got either injured or taken out in the initial wave. I think technically you are the ranking officer on the station, sir.
Oh, crap.
Probably leave me here, send a couple security folks on over.
All right, can do.
And Chief, start showing me these weapons.
Yes, sir. Well, the good news is that the phaser banks are completely charged and ready to go thanks to that bit of excellent engineering work. We've got phase cannons, which will pack a punch, but they got to come in close. And then we've kind of got a few banks of photon torpedoes, but, I mean, they're torpedoes. I don't think they're really going to do much against a whole bunch of Klingons unless we lower their shields or hit them while they're cloaked.
Works.
Yeah. As you all are contemplating that, I think this is an excellent moment to take a 5 to 10 minute break. And when we come back, we're going to have the Battle of Showa Station. So stick around, everybody. We'll be back shortly. Bye-bye. And welcome back to part 2 of the season 2 finale of Star Trek Adventures Drake. If you're just joining us, well, the Drake has arrived at Showa Station after months of travel, only to find that the Klingons and Tholians have attacked as a group, and more or less made it so that the station is not doing so hot. And that wouldn't be bad enough if the Drake also wasn't kind of hurting a little bit herself. But where we last left off were more or less Doc Early trying to save a Vulcan ambassador. AC is working the engineering department on the Drake. We've got Commander Cole as the acting senior staff member on Showa Station. And of course we have Captain Thalen on the bridge of the Drake. Now, I thought about how to do this in a way that would be both fun for you guys as players and a fun for the viewers at home, because as much as I could have broken out fleet combat and I could have broken out these big battle maps, it occurred to me that one ship, one station isn't necessarily going to give you guys a lot of good times to innovate and do cool things. So here's what we're going to do instead. And it's not going to be completely rules as written, but hopefully it'll work all the same. Each of you is going to get a turn in combat, so that's normal. You're all going to each get an action. But each of you is going to contribute to different things. So, for example, Cole, as the person controlling Showa Station, you more or less get to completely control what happens on Showa Station. Does it shoot at enemies? Does it bolster shields? Does it track or anything? Things like that. So you are completely control of Showa Station right now. Thalen, same kind of thing with the Drake, only you also have the option to, yell at ACs directly, kind of a thing. AC, of course, if anything goes wrong on the Drake, you're the one who has to fix it. You're the one doing power. You're doing shields, yada, yada, yada. Early, you're in the unique position where you're not necessarily fighting, except fighting to make this person's body not kill itself, if that makes any sense. So you're still very much involved. It's just that you are not doing a direct, like, shooty phaser type thing, at least to start. So,
Yeah, I was going to say, in a pinch, Early could help repel borders. He's not, hull
well,
level.
I'm
good,
glad you're
but
thinking
he's
that,
pretty
because
good.
that's probably what's going to happen.
Oh,
All right.
boy.
He's definitely not as brave as Cole.
So, narratively, here's what's happening. Again, Drake is interposed between Showa Station and the incoming warp signatures. The warp signatures begin to just pop in out of warp, and you see Klingon birds of prey. You see Tholian spinners. In all, there's about 10 Tholians and 8 Klingon vessels as well. You are severely outmatched. You are severely outgunned. You have a hope and a prayer, and you're really hoping that somebody heard that distress call earlier. You're really hoping. But it is the first round of combat, which means the players get to go first. Which one of you would like to act first? And you just got a momentum from chat. There you go. Chat's helping you out. There you go.
Do we think it would be... I'm the person who has the most tangential role right now. Nothing I do could possibly affect the ship, the combat. So would it be better to get my thing out of the way first and see if I generate some momentum? Or would it be better to hold off and save my thing for last so y'all get to deal with combat things ASAP?
I'd say hold off till last.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, whichever benefits y'all the most, because y'all have to kind of not blow up the ship.
Since the Drake has the only active comms, wouldn't hurt to try to open a channel.
All right. I'm going to motion to Zygen.
Okay. Channel open, sir.
Klingon and Tholian vessels. This is the starship Drake, the United Federation of Planets. Stand down. I repeat, cease hostile action.
We're actually getting a reply back, sir, from the Klingon flagship. On screen, sir?
They're sending visual on screen.
And appearing on the view screen is a Klingon bridge, and there's a very rotund Klingon seated center stage, and he actually stands up and says, "Ho, ho, ho, ho. Good, there's another vessel we can destroy while we're here. Do you hear that, warriors? Tonight, we will send their souls to hell."
Kozlov, open fire.
Okay. So, let's break that down. Are you directing Kozlov to open fire, or is it just Kozlov opening fire? Because there's a difference there.
Yeah, there's a big difference there.
Yeah, because if it's just Kozlov firing, all she's doing is a control security, and the Drake is doing weapon security. If you're directing her, you also get to assist with a presence command in your instance.
I am going to direct her.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, you only get to do one of that per scene, so keep that in mind.
Oh.
So you're directing her. Are you going for phaser banks? Are you going for photon torpedoes? They're at about medium to long range at this point, so you're within phaser bank and photon torpedo range.
So which one am I using, or which am I aiming for?
Which one are you attempting to use in this instance? Or is it just one of those whatever Kozlov feels like firing?
Whatever Kozlov feels like firing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to throw you a bone and say that you're going for the beans, which means that she's going to do a full spread maximum yield photon torpedo barrage.
All right. So I use one die, correct?
Yes, you would do your presence command assist, and then who's got Kozlov and who's got the Drake?
Does
I've
a
got
focus?
Drake.
Do I get to use a focus
I've got
as
Kozlov.
an assist? I don't think so.
Yeah, you can use focuses as an assist.
Okay.
You want daring or
It
control?
would be a control and security on Kozlov's part.
Would lead by example count here?
I believe it would, yes.
All right.
And just so you know, the difficulty, because it's torpedoes, would be a 3 on this. So, wow.
Well,
okay,
I'm
no hope
useless.
from the Drake. No hope from Thalen. You do have 3 momentum, and this is technically an activation if you want to upgrade Kozlov a little bit.
Do we want to give her a weapons focus? Her security is 2.
Couldn't hurt.
Yeah. Well,
Or
yeah, let's do-
or this could be an opening to put what's her face in the chair too.
I don't know. Does Zygen have any good security? Well, she's got a security 3. You could make Zygen do it, yeah.
But her control was worse.
Yeah.
So, all right, we will give weapons to Kozlov.
Yep.
All right, do you want to buy any additional dice? You've got 3 momentum.
Thoughts, guys?
Let's get at least one more.
And remind me, does Thalen have advisor? Yes, you do.
He
so
does.
Kozlov will get at least one reroll here, if needed.
Right. Just for 3 dice.
No, doesn't need it. You get the 3 successes you need. All right, so now is a very important roll and a very important momentum spend. So, because you are firing a full salvo of torpedoes, I actually do get some threat, but here's the good news. The good news is that because you are firing a full spread of torpedoes, you more or less get to add additional dice to your attack here. Now, I'm double checking because I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the correct damage dice here because it will matter. It is... you'd think I'd have this memorized by now, but apparently I don't. All right, so this would add an additional 2 challenge dice from what I'm reading here. So if that's wrong, oh well, we're just going to roll with it. So let's see. So Drake has 6 for default. So whoever feels lucky, I need to see 8 challenge dice, please.
Not me.
No,
I'm
it's
the only one who
Polish.
doesn't. I'm the only one who didn't roll yet. I'll go ahead and do it. You said it was challenge dice.
Yep, 8 challenge dice.
Let's see. To roll a challenge die, I perform challenge times 8.
Okay. Now, what I would tell you is that you have 2 momentum to work with here, which means you could spend 1 momentum to potentially re-roll those blank die. You could spend both momentum to basically ignore 4 resistance total. There's a lot of things you can do. If you're looking at the PDF I sent out, it should be on page 11 of the PDF is all the momentum spends you could do in this instance.
Uno momento, page 11 coming up.
But what I would tell you is because you're firing photons, they have high yield. So as long as you do at least 1 breach or at least 5 damage, you will cause double breaches, which might be enough to at least cripple some of the ships.
I think we should spend exactly 1 momentum and just re-roll those 4 blanks. That was my recommendation.
Piercing is because they're going to have some type of resistance as well.
Yeah, every ship
Well,
has
how do we-
natural resistance based on its scale.
Penetration
so.
only gives us 2 resistance for each momentum. I think we'd probably get more value out of the 4 zeros getting re-rolled.
Yeah, because all it takes is 2 more of those,
Yeah.
and yeah. So I like the 1 momentum and re-roll the 4.
So that brings us
Okay.
to 1 momentum, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that brings you up to 9. And now I have to look on my chart of the battle here. All right, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, and yep, you're gone too. So, narratively, what happens? Kozlov's fingers dance across the console, and the Drake launches a flurry, a hurricane, or tsunami of photon torpedoes across the incoming fleet. And as a result, several birds of prey of the Klingons immediately erupt and just explode from the incoming fire. Some of the Tholian spinners are damaged. They're not fully destroyed, but they are damaged. But I would say about 3/4 of the fleet are still operational in some capacity.
Yeehaw, Drake!
That is going to be your turn, Peter. That is going to be Thalen's turn. Now, since it's been a while, does anybody have quick to action as a talent?
Cole does.
Okay, so Cole, because you have quick to action, either you, AC, or Early can go before the enemies do.
Would the Showa Station be in roughly the same range?
You would be able to fire your own photons if you so wished, yes. Or, what I would tell you is if you wanted to opt for a higher damage phaser bank shot, because banks are 9 and torpedoes are at 6, you would just be at a difficulty of 3 to fire your phaser banks at that range. but you also would not have high yield. So it's one of those, do you want more damage or do you want the high yield? So
Are the phasers versatile?
the phasers are versatile, so that does mean you do get to add 2 floating momentum, which you can spend on pretty much anything.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do the phaser banks.
Okay. All right. In that instance, that will cost you 1 power, so Showa Station will go down to 4 power.
Okay.
And the station will assist you with a weapons security. Cole, you're going to roll a control security. Again, the difficulty here is a 3.
Okay. And I will use the 1 momentum.
Okay.
Now, I'd have bold security. Do I have to
You have to give me at
spend
least 1 threat to trigger it.
1 threat? All right. Keep the momentum. I'll give you 1 threat
Okay.
for the extra die.
Okay.
Do it that way.
No, there's the 3 you needed. Very well. Oh, we got to see the station still, so let's get the weapon security from the station.
Weapon security.
Because it could help you here. Could give you some more momentum. It does. It actually gives you 2 momentum. Well done, Showa Station.
Glad I didn't try it because your roll's better.
I've been rolling crap for ship and everything, and finally broke it. So I think I'm up on the upward curve now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, phaser banks. That's going to be 9 challenge dice overall.
What do we want to do with our versatile?
Yeah, you do have 2 momentum to spend because of versatile.
Piercing. That's
Total?
what, 2 per?
2 per.
1 per.
Mhm.
2 per. Yeah, go for 4. Take out 4 resistance.
Okay.
All right.
And do you want to target a Tholian vessel or do you want to target a Klingon vessel?
Let's target a Tholian vessel.
Tholian vessel. You're targeting the
big and
flagship or
nasty.
just one of the hangers on?
A big and nasty
Big and nasty.
flagship.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to add any extra momentum to that, or are we going to stick with 10 with 4 piercing, if I heard correctly?
Correct.
Mhm.
Because we'd only be getting what, 2 die. Let's save the momentum for other people.
Yeah.
All right, so what's going to again happen narratively is Showa Station's banks, kind of like what we see on lower decks, like parts of the station open up and the banks rise up to fire out a lance of orange light towards the Tholian flagship. And you actually pierce through its shields and cause you know what, roll me a d20. Just roll me a flat d20 and I'll tell you exactly what you breach.
Okay.
A 6. Ooh, all right, hold on. A 6, I believe, is technically structure. Let me confirm. No, it's even better. It's engines. So you actually knock the power of the Tholian flagship offline with a single shot. Well done. So they're going to be useless this turn.
Aha.
Yeah. All right, well, now comes the not so fun part where the enemies all get to go. And again, I'm not going to roll a bunch of times. I'm just going to roll damage for some of these because they're going to get through. So Drake, you're going to take 3 attacks here. Each of them has Vicious 1. So let me roll these first and we'll sort of see what happens. So here's the first roll. So that is 6 because there's 2 effects. You have a resistance of 5, so you only take 1 shield. So you have max of 12, so you're at 11 shield. Let's fire again. Same thing. That is significantly more. That is 8, so reduced by 5. That is now 3. What is that? I can math in my head. I believe you're now at 8 shields, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Did I math that right? I think I
Yeah.
mathed that right. And then another 3. So I believe you're down to 5 shields overall. As narratively, what happens is the Klingon birds of prey immediately sort of swoop in and begin harrying the Drake, sort of firing left and right, going through attack patterns, bobbing and weaving, ducking beneath as you fire like flak fire with your phase cannons, things of that nature. But the good news, you don't take any additional breaches. You just take a lot of shields, so you're good there. Now we do Showa Station, and the Tholians are not so happy with you right now. So they're only going to take 2 attacks, but they're going to be doing a lot more potential damage. Okay, that is 6 successes with 4 effects. So all of Showa Station's resistance is ignored. I'll roll for that breach in a moment. And same thing. Okay, we might have an issue here. Hold on. All right, so all that resistance is ignored. So shields immediately go down to 3 with the first attack. But it has sturdy construction, so it only breach on 8. So they actually don't take a breach there. They do take a breach on the second one, and you're out of shield, so that's 2 breaches still. Interesting. All right. And then let me just roll this real quick, and then we can finally get back to the fun part. So let's see, 2d20. All right, roll 2d20. All right, that looks like a 7 and a 19, which means sensors are going to be knocked offline, and what is a 19? Ooh, weapons is now breached to 3, so that might be an issue. So again, narratively, Tholian craft come in, they fire their phased beams at you and just dig furrows across the saucer section, ripping apart or vaporizing part of the phaser banks in the process. And of course, the station shakes and trembles and all that, but still intact, still there, just not having a whole lot of fun right now. But good news. Hey, Doc Early. Station's power's still on. You're still operating. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'd be very unhappy if the power had gone out, or if, a hole had been blown through us in the promenade. All right, so heart, then brain, then leg.
Okay, brain up next. Another daring and a medicine. This time I'm going to give you a 3 because you have the focus of psychiatry, which kind of deals with the brain, so you kind of know what's going on there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a stretch. I know it's a stretch, but I got to give you a bone.
It's still daring in medicine, right?
Yeah, still daring medicine.
Right.
And I tell you what, I'll even give you an assist from the station. The station can assist you with a. Oh wait, no, sensors are offline. Never mind.
And neither of the other 2 medical professionals need to help me because they have plenty of other patients between the 2 of them. That's fine. I will like to spend 1 momentum to get another die, thus enabling my cautious medicine to help me out if need be.
Okay.
Is this using my heroic surgery focus or emergency medicine?
Either would apply here.
Well, one of them has a worse complication range, so I'll go with emergency medicine.
Okay. Well, that is 3 successes to start. Do you want to re-roll any of that?
I'm just going to re-roll the 15.
Okay. All right, no additional. But hey, you still get the 3 you need. So again, you're making good progress. You've stabilized the heart. You've fixed the hemorrhaging in the brain. All you really need to do now is deal with the fact that the femoral artery is kind of, spurting a little bit, and then this guy's going to be in the clear, hopefully.
It's true what they say about Vulcans. This is a very nice brain. I mean, I can't lie. Credit where credit's due. Yeah, I prepare to. I start stitching up the incisions on the head and go get ready for the leg.
Okay. Now, that is everybody in the first round of combat, which means second round of combat, enemies go first. I need to start dropping threat bombs because what's going to happen is Doc Early, as I spend 5 threat. Actually, no, it's 4 threat.
The Vulcan gets up and kills me.
Well, no. 4 Klingons beam directly into your clinic, and they are armed and wielding bat lifts. They're not wielding disruptors. They're wielding bat lifts. So very scary, very close quarters. Again, there's 30 to 40 injured in here. It is not a good time for them to be here.
Do I have time to tap my comm badge and notify Cole that we've been ported?
You do, yes.
Intruders in sickbay. And that's probably all I'll squeeze out before before I fumble around with my bloody hands looking for my phaser, which is probably just in my belt, but still, I got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And your hands are slippery.
Yeah. But what I will say is that I now have to roll something very, very important because unfortunately, and I rolled this in private because I wanted it to be a surprise, I rolled a D3 to see if the Klingons were going to go after Early, or if they were going to go after Dars, or if they were going to go after Ricky. And unfortunately, Ricky is going to be the target.
No.
So,
well, he is also armed, so that would make sense. It's not.
This is true. So, let me check that. So that is a 12 and an 18, which means Ricky needs to roll me 1 success on a daring security. And as long as he gets 1 success, he is not attacked with a batleth.
He clearly does not have any form of focus, so I'll just roll it for him.
Okay. Unfortunately, this means Ricky is going to take a batleth. And batleths are scary, especially on a Klingon. And they have Vicious 1, if that wasn't bad enough. So, let me see here. Oh, boy. Well, Ricky, I believe you'll be fine. I did not believe hard enough. So, note that Ricky's going to be at 8 less stress, which actually, how much stress does Ensign Ricky have? Hold on.
9, according to the
so he's
sheet.
still alive.
Wow.
Still alive, but he is going to be considered lethally injured as a batleth tears open a large gas across his chest. And Ricky is going to, of course, give the oof and the cry of pain and fall down and try to get away from the batleth. But that's what happens on the beam-in. Now it is the player's turn. Now the rest of you can act.
Oh, crap.
Well, I have already acted this turn.
So security detail will be sent to head that way.
Right. Now here's the thing, Cole, is technically you either can work the weapons of Showa Station or you can deploy troops to deal with borders. It's kind of a catch-22. You can only do one.
So
let
for
us
this
handle
turn,
the borders.
well, for this turn, we're not really going to have weapons. We don't have sensors, and the weapons have taken a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to get them back up anyways.
Okay.
So I'll direct troops.
Okay. So you're going to be rolling me a presence command, and the station will actually assist you with a weapons and a security. And the difficulty is only a 1, but I do roll an opposed, but I'm going to wait and see what you roll before I even try it.
And as a focus, shifts defensive systems.
Definitely would apply, because technically, internal security systems would qualify.
And I will give you a threat for bold security.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the number to beat is 2 successes. Again, this is why I'm doing threat publicly, because I want it to be honest. I'm going to give them 2 additional dice.
And
So
what did
that
you say
is
that you said the ship could assist too?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That is going to be
Sorry.
a weapons and security for the station.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. All right, so the number to beat is 3. They're rolling 4 dice, and I'll expand it on the chat screen so chat can see it along with everybody else. All right, so they rolled 1, which is a crit, so they actually got 4 successes there. So
I had bold security.
you could reroll one of your die. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and re-roll one of those.
As long as you get the 1, you just need to see 1. There you go. There's the one you want. All right. So it's actually a very close battle as your security forces from the Drake and what remains of Showa Station, you're directing them. You're telling them where to go in, what corners to avoid, what corners to dash around, that sort of thing. And it's a very, very close combat. But in the end, obviously some very, very important people get injured in the process, but the breach is contained. The station is secure from borders, is what the main outcome of your role is. All right. Quick to action, unfortunately, does not apply during round 2, which means the enemies get to go, and this time it's the Tholians. The Tholians... would they go for the station or would they go for the Drake? I think they're going to go for the Drake. You know what? I think they're going to go for the Drake. And again, I'm going to roll it. So let's see. There is a 24, which if we expand that out, that's a 19 and 15. Tholian 1 has missed. Tholian 2, I'm going to give 1 additional die to add a bit of spicy fun. 21, they probably hit you. Yeah, they hit you. They hit you. All right, and I have them at 8 challenge dice, which means, oh boy. Well, yeah, they've got piercing 1 on that, so you're at 4 resistance, which means you only take 4 damage, which means you technically have the 1 shield remaining. Still no breaches either. So, again, a phased beam just sort of rakes across the dorsal section of the Drake, nearly breaching through the shields. Obviously, sparks and debris and regulation firecrackers go off all the same, but you don't actually lose your protective shielding at the moment.
Regulation console rocks.
Yeah, regulation console rocks, of course. But the good news is that's all the enemies. So now it's the player's turn. So, Captain Thalen, AC, act at your discretion.
Kozlov reads out, "Sir, shields to 8%.
All right. Doc, you had a thought?
Oh no, I was out of character volunteering to go first on the team side because my guys are getting stabbed. But honestly, we're still tangential, so we got our thing.
Okay.
What can I do systematically to boost shields?"
Well, if you want to just straight up regenerate shields, I believe that is a control engineering. The ship assists you with a structure engineering. It's a difficulty of 1, and you immediately gain 2 points of shields on success, plus 2 more shields for each momentum you spend.
Do you think that's worth it, guys?
Probably.
It's a lot of spend for not a lot of shields. I was hoping it was per success over X.
Yeah, you gotta get shields back.
What was the spend benefit again?
2 shields
It
per
is
momentum.
it's 2 to start, and then 2 additional per each momentum you spend. And it looks like Chad, unfortunately, is on a 4-minute cooldown, so they can't get you a little bit more assistance here, unfortunately.
Ooh, ouch.
Oh, and if it matters to you, it also costs 1 power to do this, just so you know.
We have 12.
Yeah, I think you're fine on power.
Well, I can try to generate... If you want me to go first, I can try to generate momentum. Because I can rally.
That'll work. Your bridge crew is probably rather shaken.
Yeah. All right, so I will rally, which I believe is a presence command.
Presence command, difficulty of 0, and as long as you get at least 1 success, your rousing speech, which I will make you actually give a rousing speech, will come across fine. But if you roll any complications, there may be some heckling.
Yep. And I'm going to use lead by example as my focus here.
Okay. Okay, that's 2 successes, meaning you get 2 momentum.
You get 2 momentum. All right. All right, crew, we've been bloodied, but we gave him one hell of a punch. Let's keep giving it to him. We can do this.
So that's your rally.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, I like it. So now we're going to go to AC. So AC, do you want to continue going for the regenerating of shields, or do you want to do something else? Good news is you have 4 momentum to work with here.
How much momentum do we want to blow, guys? We have 4.
I would like to keep a little for me. I don't have very good sword fighting skills.
Well, that was actually Cole's role, is that you were saved in the clinic because his security teams got to you.
Yeah,
that
the
was
security
included.
team shot him
So
down.
I thought that was a thing that was like gonna happen soon if we survive long enough. So Okay. In which case, as much as you think is valuable, I'm all for it. I honestly, for my medical stuff, tend to only want one just so I can get my free reroll.
So it's 2 per 1 or 2 per 2?
It is 2 per 1.
Thoughts, guys? Do we want to burn 3 here?
Three sounds pretty good.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, control engineering.
Again, the ship is structure engineering, and the difficulty is 1.
Using a focus for power systems.
Yep. And remember, the ship always has a focus. All right, there's 2 successes, meaning you're already up to 5 momentum. And then let's see the ship. And then let's see.
Structure engineering?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crap.
And we'll take the first one, which is an 18, so no additional, unfortunately. But you are now at 5 momentum before you do any spending. So you immediately get back 2 shield. You're up to 3. And then how much more you want to spend?
Do we still want to drop to 1 momentum, or do we want to just spend the 3 we initially chatted about?
Let's do the 3.
All right, that'll bring you up to 9 shield.
Okay.
Let's hang on to the rest of that momentum.
All right. So that is round 2.
Shields
Now,
to 75%, sir.
Oh, you just got a momentum from chat as well. Thank you, chat. All right.
So for the station, it's just my action on the station.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how bad off Showa Station is. It's not me trying to purposely hamstring you. That's how bad the situation is. But good news. Technically, this is round 3. It is the player's turn again, but all of you are refreshed.
Right.
Is there anything we can do as Drake to run interference? There are a lot of like civilians on that station.
Well, there's a lot of things you could do. You could do some attack pattern action to get yourselves as like the target to shoot. You could attempt some fancy tractor beam work. You could shoot the Tholians and the Klingons boarding. There's a lot of things you could do. Just got to tell me what in generally you want to do, and we'll make it work with the task.
Does it look like one of the groups of ships are swinging around to hit the station again?
There are 2 Tholian ships that are ready to do that, yes.
Let's hit them.
Well, but as a thought, can we have extensive knowledge of Tholian ships now, since we had the special tricorder and all our work with Tholians. Would there be any value in us attempting to scan for a weakness?
Those access codes that we had for the previous ship would still be there.
That would be very interesting to create an advantage.
What I'm going to tell you is if you want to spend, I'm going to tell you that since you have that special item, it's only going to be a momentum spend of 1 here to activate that advantage. But you have to be very clear on what you want that advantage to be. You can't make it a super advantage. So go for one thing here. What does the one thing do here?
And we don't have to do that. I'm just throwing stuff out there. We're just
of course.
That's a brilliant. Would it be if you could get it to affect more than 1 ship of the Tholians? That could potentially at least remove their offensive capability or defensive capability.
What I would tell you is if you want to basically shut down the Tholian vessels, all of them in range, basically, that would be a daring engineering. The difficulty would be a 5. And the Drake would assist you with a communications and engineering as well. Actually, no, I think it'd be communications and command, I think, in this instance. But if you succeed on this difficulty of 5, you take all the Tholian ships out of combat. They go dead in the water.
I'm assuming this isn't an extended task. I'm assuming this is
this is just a high difficulty one-shot roll.
One punch done.
Well, I mean, it's Beansworthy for sure.
Mm-hmm. You also do still have determination, AC.
Yes, I do.
Do you have that?
What do you guys think? Do we want to give more threat?
I think we need to go for it.
Yeah.
I
we need
mean,
to give it a
honestly, we
try.
definitely don't want to save our determination for next session, quote unquote. So
Yeah.
if that option exists, we should use it. I say
Hmm.
that as though I already haven't spent all mine. So, but yeah, I mean, the stakes have never been higher, so we're gonna have to succeed.
All right. So yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
So let me look at the screen. Have we already spent the one to activate it?
Not yet. So you would be at 2 momentum.
Okay. Then so I will spend 2 momentum and how many threat to get max dice?
It would be 3 threat. You would be rolling 4, and make sure to tick that you are using determination as well when you do the roll.
Oh, I'd be rolling 4 instead of 5.
Right. Well, you put in 4 because when you toggle the option
Okay.
for it, automatically includes the determination.
Yes. Okay.
It's one of the things I like about Foundry is it does it automatically.
Yes.
Anyone daring engineering?
Yes, please.
Okay, I have a specialty in computers.
Would apply. All right. Survey says, I believe. Okay, you know what? There's 7 successes already. That's good. Communications and command from the Drake. Let's see if it's even better.
Oops. I was too excited about what he was doing. Communication.
And for good reason.
I got it. Nope.
Okay. All right. So 7 successes. You get 2 momentum right back. I tell you what, you give me that 2 momentum. Remember those probes you launched earlier? I got the perfect thing for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
All right. So here's what happens narratively. AC, you get the brilliant idea to use a certain tricorder. You go
Yeah, I
running
don't
down
even
the
ask.
hallway. Yeah, you go sprinting down the hallways, just bursting in to, because I think it was in Cole's quarters. So
It was
you,
my office.
I just imagine
Yeah.
you like almost shoulder checking the doors down and just running over, ripping open the desk drawer, picking up the tricorder.
Yeah, I straight
plugging-
hack his safe because he had it in his safe.
Oh, I was thinking like maybe you even like took a phaser to it and just like
Oh
spot
yeah, I'm
tore it
still
open.
carrying my phaser. So yeah, I just
Disintegrate the safe door.
Just rip open the safe somehow, grit the tricorder, hook it up to the ship systems, and you press the shiny red button. An unseen pulse goes out across the battlefield. All the Tholian vessels go dead in the water immediately, instantly. It's just the Klingon vessels, and there's only 4 of those up remaining. It is at that point that Cole on the station, you hear this. You're not able to reply because you're on the station. But the Drake people can reply because they've got working comms. And what you hear is the following. This is the USS Shepherd and the USS Gagarin. We are 5 minutes out. Are you receiving us at all? Please, if anyone is alive on Showa Station, or hell, is that the Drake? Drake, if you're alive, give us a sign.
Open comm frequencies. Shepard, Gagarin, this is the Drake. Could really use your help.
All right, we're pushing the engines as hard as we can. We're probably going to burn out a few warp coils, but we're bringing the fight. We got 3 Shepherd-class vessels with us, and we also got a McGee, if you really care.
Any help will do.
So, narratively, we're going to end the combat there because between the 3 ships entering, the Drake and what remains of the station, you're going to be able to disable or destroy the remaining Klingons. And I don't think we need to harry Dr. Early too much. But Dr. Early, you now have to make a very, 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 very important roll to save Mr. Ricky. And it is the most basic
Now,
of rolls.
just to be clear, to do this roll, I don't have to abandon saving the Vulcan.
No, you have saved the Vulcan at this point.
Okay.
But it is a very important roll. If you fail this, or you roll complications, well,
And for the record, I
complications.
wasn't saying that because I wasn't going to help Ricky. I just wanted to know if I was creating an interplanetary incident. All right. Well, I have no determination and I have no momentum. So let's all hope I do well here.
Well,
You said it was daring medicine.
It's daring medicine. The difficulty is just a straight 2.
Well, I only have 2 dice. Let's cross our fingers, boys.
Yeah, the dice are going to decide the fate for
Oh!
Mr. Ricky.
There we go.
There you go, the 2. You are able to staunch the wound, the deep gash of the chest wound. Ricky will live. He's not very happy, but he'll live. And he kind of looks up at you, Doc, and goes, okay, in my tricorder, in my kit, there's a stimulant shot. Can you just just give me something for the pain at least.
Yep. I give him what he indicates. You know, you did
And
good,
he
son.
doesn't like jump up and start, doing boardwalk shows, but he kind of sits up a little bit and goes, okay, all right, I need to tweak that a little bit. Whoa, okay. That's like 3 shots of high caffeine right to my veins. Oh boy, okay, all right,
What
need to
you
work
need
on
to
that.
be doing is resting. Keep your organs on the inside. All right, we got it from here.
Okay, all right, did we win?
I have no idea, but I still hear the Drake on comms, so they ain't blowed up yet.
Okay, I'm gonna go sleep. Yeah, I'll just be right here. And unless you really
Zonk.
want to keep him awake, Ricky's going to fall
Oh, no,
asleep.
no,
Not dead, not unconscious, just asleep.
I fully condone the passing out of Ricky. Yeah.
All right. So, we're going to skip ahead maybe about 4 or 5 hours after everything has been contained, dealt with, etc., where the 4 of you are on what remains of Showa Station's bridge. And joining you are 2 captains. One of them is Captain Richardson of the Gagarin, and the other is Captain Johnson of the USS Shepherd. And both of them are kind of, you're all comparing notes. What are you going to do with the Klingons? What are you going to do with the Tholians? But overall, all of them are kind of looking at you 4 like you're heroes, like you're big shot heroes for pulling this off. And in fact, Captain Johnson kind of stops what he's doing for a moment to look at you all and goes, I know the Commodore's not going to be happy about that hole in her bridge, but when she gets back, I think this deserves a medal. I mean, fine work.
Just did our duty, really, Captain. There's a station in need.
Right. I mean, I got to be honest. When you went dark many months ago, we thought the Drake was lost. So when you showed up on subspace comms broadcasting distress, we were, we sent what we could.
Well, I appreciate that, because if you had not appeared, I don't know how this would have ended.
Probably with you and Stovacor, if I'm being honest.
Or Graythor, if you listen to the Klingons.
We got enough prisoners of war now that the Klingons are going to have to do a lot of listening rather than talking.
That will be a first.
I'm sure they'll do the standard Klingon thing in demanding that the prisoners execute themselves and maintain their honor, blah, 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 but
And
we at
we'll keep
least
them
have...
from having weapons, and nothing will happen.
Exactly. But, and Johnson now turns to you, Cole, and goes, Commander Cole, I must say, that phaser shot you did earlier, at least from the records of the battle, what inspired you to go after the Tholian flagship?
Dealing with bullies. Take out the lead one.
Well,
Also break their, chop the head off the snake.
Well, what I can say, at least looking at the battle logs, is that you disrupted their command and control long enough for, and he turns to AC for AC, the man of the hour, to disable all the Tholians. Well done indeed.
Nicely done.
Definitely. I'm glad he remembered previous encounters we had with the Tholians.
Just did what any of us would have done, sir.
Well, don't be so modest. And then you duck early. You look a fright, but I assume that we've saved as many as we can.
I think so, and one of ours got injured, but it looks like he's going to pull through.
Wonderful. Apparently one of your patients was the Vulcan ambassador to Showa Station. Ooh, well, that's going to earn you some brownie points for sure.
Yeah, this shirt weren't green when I woke up.
I was going to ask if that was a purposeful color choice. And then, as you all are again hearing accolades, being praised, one of the ensigns on duty says, sir, we're getting a hail from the USS Elena. The senior staff's back and the Commodore's on the horn wanting to know why the hell there's a hole in her station. Should I leave them on mute, or...
Let me take it.
I was going to say, sir, I believe I detect an engineering concern on Drake. We might need to get back there.
I think Showa Station might be losing comms again.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky needs to get back to training.
Ensign,
Absolutely.
let it go.
Let what go, sir? Wink.
Exactly.
And I think this is the perfect way to end season 2, is you all rush back to the Drake and speed off into space. We just hear like the stereotypical secretary from Monsters Inc. going, "Wazowski, why is there a hole in my station?" Or something along those lines. I can't do the accent well, but there we go. That's where we'll end season 2, as you all speed off into the distance before the Commodore comes after you.
Put that station right back where it came from, or so help me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'd give you momentum, but we're at the end of the session. Oh, Lord. But yeah, what did you guys think? Again, I tried to do something a little bit more narrative than full combat, but I hope it worked. And if it didn't, feel free to tell me that too.
That was
No,
great.
it felt good. You know, I mean, it brought a lot of the things that we'd faced into to a head. So
Yeah. We got to try out some different combat mechanics that we hadn't used yet, so that was great.
I think one of the last transmissions before we fade to black is Cole getting on the horn. AC, what the hell happened to my desk?
intruder alert.
Oh, I love
A creative restructuring, sir. Just consider it an art project.
There you go. All right, gents. So we're going to talk a little bit about our next game off stream. So this is where we're going to end the recording. So YouTube, thank you for listening in. Twitch, stick around. But YouTube, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.